worked out to be $1,055.85. Hello everybody, and welcome back or welcome to our channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Melinda, and together with my husband Adine, we manage a six-figure reselling business, and we recently founded an app called Flipped for the reseller community. This is my weekly What's Sold video, and in this particular video, I'm going to be concentrating on sales that sold for at least $40 or more. Most of them are over $50, but there's a few that I snuck in there that were just under that. Now, we run a primarily volume-based store, so we have to sell a lot of items that are closer to the $20 to $30 range to make our daily margins. However, we do enjoy when these higher sales get sprinkled in, as everybody would. We did used to run a small but expensive store that was primarily hard goods. So if you are that type of seller, this is a great video because these are the type of clothing items that you can sprinkle in and you'll still make those higher margins that you're probably looking for. These are also great for someone who does this part-time or doesn't have a lot of space to store items. So they're really looking for just a set number of items that they can house that'll either sell quickly or will be worth the storage space. Let's go over them. I'll start out by saying first that a lot of these listings that I'm going to cover are shoes, which is probably why it's not surprising that a lot of resellers eventually switch to just dealing in shoes. They're very straightforward all around. They're usually not too big of a headache to clean. As you can tell by this video, by the time I'm done, you'll see that they retain a really good resale value in a lot of different categories. They're very straightforward to ship, and people always need them. Once you wear out shoes, you have to get more. It's not like a really fancy dress that you can wear out once and maybe wear it the next year and have it for a long period of time. The first three that I'm gonna go over are by a company called SAS, or San Antonio Shoe Company. Now, we did a really big buyout of 300 of these for $11 per pair, new in box, earlier, and we'll go ahead and link that video below if you're interested in seeing when we picked those up. The great thing about SAS is that, or as I say, sassy shoes, they come in a very broad range of widths and styles. So anywhere from like super narrow feet to really wide feet. Nice classic styles, generally classic colors. Black, beige, white, and brown are really the only, oh, and navy are the only colors I've really seen them in. So very classic. We've been selling them at a range of different prices, as you'll see here, just because it depends on the sale that we're running, any discounts that are applied, that type of thing. So these first ones are the style Free Time. You can see they're white, they come in the box, and these were $55.97, and that was before the shipping. So it was $55.97 plus the $11.75. These next two are the same styles, but they sold at different prices. And again, I just wanted to include that because we have offers on our store. So one of these was probably on an offer, another one was probably with a coupon or discount code, or we also run sales periodically. So the first one, they are the Me Too with the easy straps, sold for $62.97. And then these black ones you can see went for $50.38. So happy with both of those sales. More is always better when you're selling, but again, we only paid $11 per pair. So both of those are margins that we're happy with in our store. I'll go ahead and get some of the lower priced ones out of the way. These next ones are a pair of Tony Lama Western boots. Very good brand if you see them. This is really about the average price that we sell these for. These ones sold for $45. That was an offer. If you ever see like an even number that we sell at, that's because we took an offer or we sent an offer. It doesn't show the shipping on this one, but because these are bigger boots, they would have gone in a 12 by 12 by 8, and we charge $14.75 for that. So after the shipping, the gross price is over $50. So that works out. I think it technically still qualifies. And Echo is another really solid brand. They sell sneakers, they sell loafers, but generally speaking, we've only sold leather Echo shoes. I'm not sure if like that's their specialty, but just very classic design, men's, women's, across the board. Their Oxfords sell for really nice money. These are like a classic kind of basic everyday sneaker type of design. You'll see they're $44.95, so just about $45 plus $11.75 in shipping. Nike has made our What Sold videos a number of times, so we're gonna keep that tradition going. And there are 2 pair of Nikes that I'll go over that made the over $50 gross sale. As you can see, they sold for a really good price, $74.95 for a pair of pre-owned Nike sneakers. However, because you can see that rug under there, that was the very first way that we took shoe photos. We have progressed 4 times beyond that now, and we take them in a photo booth box on like wood pallets. So very happy to see these go, obviously for a good price, but I'm happy they sold for much because they kind of have to pay back their storage fees. These next ones we did not have for as long, these Nike Manoas. These are like an outdoor ankle booty type leather for $43.96. So this is a really good style overall. You know, hiking boots, in my opinion, that I have found do sell better. They're a better style. People are really looking for quality hiking boots, and Nike is a quality brand. So put those 2 together, and obviously you can see why it sold for that higher price. These would have been plus $11.75 in shipping as well. Another hiking brand that I was completely unaware of until it came from one of our suppliers is this Saliwa brand. And I assume it's quality simply because a lot of sale prices and sale comps were at like $120, $140. We ended up taking an offer on these ones for $70. They were listed for probably a couple weeks, probably could have held out or made a counter offer, but we're not really in the business of storage. We're in the business of selling. So $70 is a great price for us. Very happy to see those go. And now hopefully maybe we watch a new brand, because I wasn't familiar with it. It didn't seem like it was like incredibly saturated. So Saliwa. Another old pair of shoes that we've had for quite a while, and I believe that these ones actually, this is probably like their 2nd or 3rd time selling. They sold for higher the previous 2. We're just really happy to see them go. And again, they're on these fur, so that's how I know we've had them for a really long time, are these Manolo Blahniks, which is a very high-end designer, but like many things in the resale world, it can sell for something at a really high price initially, but only be worth a fraction of that on the resale market. This is no exception. These were probably at one point hundreds of dollars, but they only sold for $50, and that line through it means it was a best offer because I don't want to see them again. I just want them to go away at this point. Plus the $11.75 for shipping. I have 2 more boots. These next ones are Ariat, which we know is a really good brand, loved by people who enjoy Western wear or just quality boots. These ones are a very specific style. I had to do a lot of digging because there weren't a lot of comps with this exact same style on eBay. And what made it different is the toe is a square toe with the fringe. So that was different than the ones with pointed toes with fringe. But I finally figured it out. I used the Google image search and found it. We did take an offer. That's why you see the 96 at the end. These sold for 15% off, and that meant they sold for $63.96 plus the $11.75 in shipping. That's a very, very good sale for us, so very happy. And they were really cool boots. I like selling cool stuff. I don't know anybody who doesn't enjoy selling things that they think is cool, as opposed to, you know, these are okay or whatever. So I really like getting cool stuff like cool boots in. The very last boots that we'll go over are these, I think it's Cochrane, but that's not exactly how it's spelled, so I could be wrong. You can see it's spelled there, so however you want to pronounce it, that's the brand. These sold for $77.86, and they're a very military style boot, which tends to do very well. These are higher up than the military ones we normally see. Very, very strong comps on this style, this brand of boot. So go over to eBay, go ahead, see what the sold is compared to what's available. And you can see why these did not sit very long. I think we had these for maybe a week before they sold at that price. So that is it for shoes. These last ones are going to be clothing, and it's generally outerwear. So there's kind of themes. Outerwear, it doesn't matter the season, if it's fall, winter, spring, summer, tends to sell very, very well. Obviously, that is something you need quality clothing for, because if you're gonna be outside in the elements, you wanna be protected. I mean, that just makes sense. I really love following people who live in other parts of the country, especially the Pacific Northwest or Alaska, because they find some really awesome outerwear brands, and I've learned a lot from those people. I don't have anything crazy like that today. Starting us off is this Brooks Brothers wool coat. Brooks Brothers is one of those brands that can really sell for a lot or a little, just really depending on what it is. If it's a shirt, what style of shirt, if it's pants, shorts. So they make a variety of different clothing. This is the first time we've had a women's coat by them, and this sold very fast, which I kind of thought to myself, maybe I priced it low, but I thought it was a very reasonable range depending on the comps that I saw for it. I mean, some were higher, but there were also a lot that were lower. So I sort of went for the higher midsection, and it really only took like a couple hours. So I'm very, very happy with that. Also very, very happy that it sold for $64.95, and then we have a $14.75 shipping on that, because those coats have to go in bigger poly mailers. They just don't fold down compact, obviously, so they cost more, and they're also heavier because of the fabric. Another coat, this one made the list, even though it's only $39.94. Burton, very solid brand. We've sold this for a lot higher. It depends on the style. Also, size plays into it quite a bit. This one's an extra small, and I think the extra small in coats and outerwear is a little bit harder to sell, only because most people are layering their outerwear. So even petite people, if you have a sweater or something under that, an extra small can be kind of a tight fit, which sort of plays into the price there, which, you know, $40, again, happy with that. And we would have charged the $14.75. So it just got it into that over 50 gross sale price. I mean, it counts. So Burton, I think a lot of people are familiar with that brand. It's not super common to find, but it is a little bit more regular than, you know, some of the other brands that you might see. This one is no surprise, Patagonia. I mean, I wish I could only sell Patagonia. I love Patagonia. I love the brand. I love selling it. I just love everything about it. And I love that this one sold for $73.76. We got a number of really low offers on this, and we didn't entertain some of them at all if they came in like super low. Obviously, we countered on some. This was a 15% off offer that it finally sold on. Plus, this was $10.75 in shipping. It's not super bulky, but it's also gonna be a little bit bigger, where it's gotta go up from just the flat rate $8.75 USPS envelopes. The reason it was priced this way is because when I'm listing things, sometimes I'm really adamant about finding like the correct style in brands like Pulitzer, Patagonia, Lululemon. That can really make a big difference. So I usually just start by describing it, and I see kind of what pops up. And if I notice a theme, I can go from there. Or if I know it's a specific style, I might just like Google image it. So this was the better sweater, which pushed it into that higher category, and it was in really excellent condition as well. So I will always put my prices near the top if it's basically like new, which this one was. And then the very last sale is a Lilly Pulitzer. I just mentioned them. So $47.95 plus this was $11.75 in shipping. It's not like a super thick winter coat. It's kind of like a fancy trench, not a raincoat because it doesn't have a hood, but you know, it's gonna size up and not be as heavy as like that wool pea coat type. So very Really nice, fancy design on the inside that's very classic Lily Pulitzer, but then very classic navy on the outside. We ended up selling this on an offer. I believe they sent us this offer. It had a little bit of a smudge on the back, so not like a rip or a tear or anything, just like a slight blemish. So it probably could have sold for more otherwise, but due to that, you know, happy to sell it. I'm gonna do the numbers real quick and then go over them with you to see what we made off of just those higher price sales. All right, I'm back with some numbers. Now, everything total, shipping plus the sale prices, worked out to be $1,055.85. Now, the shipping itself was $189.25. So if you subtract that back out, you're left with $866.60. Now for fees, this week I did 13.5 because that's about what we pay on eBay if we're selling it with a promoted listing. Now, not all of them sold on promoted listings, but I always like to be more conservative in my numbers. So I would rather just take it off of everything as opposed to, you know, picking and choosing, well, this one did, this one didn't. So the fees were $142.54, which leaves $724.06. So then you have to subtract out your cost of goods. So what you paid for the items. I did an average of $10 an item. Some of that was more, you know, $11, $12 for some, maybe closer to $8 or $9 for others. So again, this is just the average that I did. That would have been $150 taken off of that, leaving me with $574.06, which is really not bad. That's a good chunk of change, especially, you know, as I mentioned in the beginning, if this is something that you're doing part-time or that you're just looking to supplement your store with, you know, an extra 500 bucks in the bank. Now remember, you still have to take out or account for whatever you would have to pay in taxes. You don't pay that necessarily right away, but it's not a bad idea to sort of like set it aside, keep track of it. So that's, you know, net before taxes. But yeah, that's great, I think. So there you have it. If you're looking for a couple higher items to sell, those are some good brands to look out for, and also some different styles. I know outerwear in winter right now is because it is winter, but those are probably gonna hold their value for all the seasons, as we've mentioned before in previous videos. I really hope that this was helpful. I hope maybe you learned at least one brand or one new thing, and I'll see you on next week's video. Until then, as always, take care.